Um, Doing works that are classic works with sort of a brown or a black or people of color face, what are you hoping that audience members will get from that experience?
That's a very good question. What I'm hoping for, let's say, Caucasian audience members, is that there are more depth and quality and lifestyles to the African American experience. And it's something that we can share for them. You know, seeing a story that they're used to seeing of an all-white cast or in a different cultural context to bind understanding of two different races. For the African American community, what I'm hoping is to sort of show that we have the same values. You know, these stories of greed, anger, love, trust, hope, inspiration. It doesn't speak to just Shakespeare, it speaks to us as well. We all have the same values. Everyone wants to have a quality of life. Everyone wants their kids to succeed. Everyone wants to be able to provide for their family. And those are values that we all share. And that's something that I think that no matter who you are in what age, range, or part of the world, that we share as human beings, you know, sharing these same values.
Now, we've spoken a good deal about the African American, Shakespeare Company and a little bit about what you're hoping to accomplish with that. But you also play another pivotal role in San Francisco, and that's been one of the San Francisco Arts Commissioners. Can you tell us a little bit about how you became a commissioner?
Okay. I received a phone call from the mayor's office saying that a spot has opened. I think you know Ethel Pitts, yes. I was about to say Walker Pitts.
Yeah.
Ethel, she left the commission.
And she's a doctor.
Yes. Dr. Pitts.
Yes.
She left the art commission, moved out of the city.
San Jose.
Yes, to
she
San
teaches
Jose.
San Jose State.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, you cannot be a commissioner when you leave, when you're not a resident of San Francisco. So this vacancy has been unfulfilled for several months. I mean, back in 2006, I think. So in 2007, I received a phone call, and I was sworn in May. And it's been a real experience, wonderful, changing. You know, there's some things that are happening now that's really exciting, and the Art Commission is there to serve the people of San Francisco with quality arts programming, not only for the residents, but also for its visitors as well, and the communities, and to have a quality representation of different forms of arts throughout the city.
Now, since you've been a member, how do you see the arts in San Francisco, differently or the same, in depth, less in depth, now that you are commissioner?
I really didn't have a true understanding about the vast quality of arts in San Francisco at every walk of life. Art is created at every level, in the church, on the street corner. There's like a street artist program where people who are creating their jewelry can buy a section downtown to sell it.
On the street?
On the streets, yes.
Really?
Yes.
They have to pay for those when you see
That's a
people?
program. You can't just show up with the table and wear. Artists who are qualified and who've made an application are authorized to do that.
Now, what if there are several artists looking at the show right now and they think, I would like to do that? Can you tell them anything about what steps they might take to?
Well, I would say the first steps that they might take is to call the mayor's information line at 311 and ask for the Art Commission Street Artist Program. The staff there is wonderful. They will help them, walk them through. They'll explain how it works, what the costs are. But basically, you have to create your own artwork. You cannot go to the local bead store that Miss Sally made of a for-profit and then sell it. Right.
It has to be original work.
It has to be original work by the person who is on that corner selling it. So if I see you, Thomas Simpson, with a bunch of artwork, then you, Thomas Simpson, have to be the creator.
Okay, that's great. So in terms of cultural equity grants, tell us a little bit about that and a little bit about how people go about getting those grants.
Sure. Well, actually, let me just back up a little bit because it's a larger program called Cultural arts education grants. And what it is that there's a whole arts education component to the Art Commission, which is supporting educating not only our youth, but our adults about how art is created, the value of it. But there's also a granting program where artists and arts organizations, from individuals to community groups who are creating arts and professional art groups who can apply for grants. And there are several different levels. There are levels to promote equality, such as the Cultural Equity Initiative, which is created to help underrepresented groups and organizations to stabilize them financially, artistically, audience development wise, with long-term support of $100,000 is the maximum. Then there's another granting section called Organizational Project Grant, which, if you see the symbol of the San Francisco Art Commission, a lot of groups are supported by that with a $15,000 grant. And they sort of allow people to rotate, where if you get it so many years, you cannot get it for a lifetime. And the nice thing is that these grants are decided upon by the community itself.
Tell us a little bit about that peer panel process.
Yes, the peer panel process is represented by demographics of different arts fields, music, dance, film, theater, by different sexual orientation, people of color, and they do a wonderful job, and they spend time reviewing, discussing, watching presentations of the organizations, of slides and videotapes, and it's a really in-depth process that they give. They're sitting at the panel 2 or 3 days, but they're probably reading those proposals for 2 or 3 weeks.
There's one thing in terms of the cultural equity grants is they have to have been producing 2 years.
Yes.
I believe. You need to have some history, so you can't, like come in off the street without having done something. They want to see a history of your work. So I, in some ways, felt like I kind of cut you off as you were speaking.
No. I was about to say something else, and I totally forgot what it was. The staff is wonderful. People have the concept or the impression, oh, I need to be a big multi-million-dollar level, and they actually do not want that. They don't want the large. If you're getting million-dollar grants or sustaining yourself, they want to support the groups that are really serving the community at its heart. Mm-hmm. So they'll do the smaller groups, that are making. I think you have to make at least $7,000 to be considered.
At least have a budget.
Yeah, you at least have some kind of a budget.
Yes.
But don't be afraid. People should call and ask and inquire. And if nothing else, if you do apply, I hope they ever get the chance to sit in on a panel.
Definitely.
And listen, because that is a great learning experience.
Now, one thing we might also share, and that is some ways you make a sacrifice by being an arts commissioner, because being an arts commissioner, that means you cannot apply.
Yes, in order for me to sit on the commissioner's seat, I told them that African American Shakespeare will not be applying for any grants from the Art Commission. So.
And how did you feel about that, and how did your board feel when you first approached them with that idea?
Oh, I'm like, maybe they still don't know. I had no qualms about that whatsoever, because the learning experience and the ability for me to connect with the community and to support the Art Commission was much more invaluable than what we would probably receive in grants.
So in some ways you receive, in some ways, more than possibly
Absolutely.
in different areas.